Hello everyone, I welcome you all to today's discussion wherein we are going to take up the previous year CLAT, the Quantitative Techniques section. So as you are aware, in the CAT just like any other year, this year also CLAT 25 also we had 12 questions spread over two different sets, each set having 6 questions. So that was the make of the paper that we had this year. Let's go through the questions and try to answer the questions one after the other. So there were two sets overall. This is the first set that we had in the paper that I took the questions from. So in this, let's go through the details once. It says, according to the estimates of the World Inequality Report 2022, in India, men earn 82% of the labor income. So I'll just highlight some basic points. Men earn 82% of the labor income, whereas women earn the remaining 18%. So for example, if the labor income is 100 crore, suppose out of that 100 crore, 82 crore goes to men and the rest 18 crore goes to women. A woman agriculture field laborer, so we are talking about a specific group now. A woman agriculture field laborer makes 88 rupees per day lesser than her male counterpart. According to the Ministry of Agriculture's data for 2020-21, while a man is paid 383 a day on an average, a woman makes a mere 294 a day. So woman makes 88 days per less. What type of woman? A woman agriculture field laborer makes 88 rupees per day lesser than her male counterpart according to the ministry, and so much, so on and so forth. There is some information that we have. So there was one very unique thing about this particular set. Now this was especially long set, right? Very long set. So in this particular set, if a student was caught in the details here, he or she would have spent a lot of time in getting to the answer for the following questions. But someone who was careful enough to read the information as much as required and then going for the questions and coming back to the data, whatever relevant information is needed, selectively picking it up, solving that question and moving on, someone who followed the second strategy would have performed better. Because here if you read it, there are so many points which won't make a lot of sense. For example, while a man is paid 383 a day on an average, a woman makes 294 a day. But above, just above that, it was told that the gap is 88 rupees per day. But that gap is not consistent here, if you notice. So that way, there's so much information which was not really relevant as far as the question solving goes. So what we'll do is, we'll quickly glance over the data and we'll move on to the questions. The gap in the daily wages is more than the cost of 2 kilograms of rice. So this gap, 383 and 294, it's more than 2 kilograms of rice. This gap differs from state to state. Field laborers, for instance, make the most money in Kerala. So highest money for field laborers is in Kerala. The highest is in Kerala. While a man gets rupees 789 per day, a woman is paid 537. So in Kerala, he is talking about Kerala only. While this is the highest amount paid to women laborer in the state, it is also rupees 252 lesser than what her male counterpart was paid. As of 2020-21, Tamil Nadu has the highest gender wage gap among the agriculture field laborers at 112%. So Tamil Nadu, the wage gap is the highest, and this is given to be 112%. It is followed by Goa. Goa is second, for which the wage gap is 61%. And third is Kerala. And then Kerala. The wage gap is the lowest in case of Jharkhand and Gujarat, where it is 6%. But the women laborers there get paid just rupees 239 and 247 per day respectively. So here the women laborers are paid 239 rupees and 247 rupees respectively. So this is what is the detail that we have as far as this paragraph is concerned. Man earn more than women across all forms of work. The gap greatest for the self-employed. So the gap between man and women's income earning is the highest for self-employed. In 2023, male self-employed workers earned 2.8 times that of women. So women, if I take it as X, so men will be 2.8 times of that. So 2.8x. So that means, as we see, men are more than women, the average earning by 1.8x. In contrast, male regular wage workers earn 24% more than women, male regular wage workers. Male is 24% more than women, females. And casual workers, it's 48% more. The gender gap in earnings is still a persistent phenomenon. However, there are differences in trends. The gender gap has increased for self-employed workers. Self-employed workers, we talk about this group, while falling for the regular wage workers. Regular wage workers is this. Male regular wage workers earn 34% more than women from 2019 to 22, with the gap falling to 24% in 2023. So this gap which is given, these numbers are for 2023. So a lot of data, but how much of it will be used actually? Let's go through the questions to understand that. So I've just written down the gist of it here. So if you have to, if there's a need of reading the data again, we'll do that. Question number 109. If the wages paid to men working in agricultural sector in Goa. So we're talking about Goa, we're talking about men, and then of course we shall talk about women also. So the wages paid to men working in the agricultural sector is 335 rupees. On an average, what is the amount of wages paid to women in that region? So what is this value? So where do I get this information? So if you go back, so for Goa, I know that this gender gap was 61%. So I'll just come back here. So I know that this gender gap here is 61%. So that means men will be 61% more than the women. Now let's try to check. Let's go by the options once. All right. So if you take 61% of women's, let's assume option A is the answer. So if you take option A, 204. So what will be 61% of this? So 60% plus 1%. So if you notice, 10% of this value is 20.4. So 6 into 20.4 plus 1% will be 2.04. So 6 into 20.4 will be 122.4 plus 2.04 will make it how much? 124.44. So this is the increase that we will see if female average earning is 204. So if this is the increase, what will happen? So what does this mean? What will be male average earning? 204 plus 124. So when you do this, this is going to be how much? This is going to be 328.44. All right, somewhere around this, but it's not 335, it's less than that, right? So that means this is falling short. This cannot be the answer. So if 204 is not the answer, of course, any value lower than that also cannot be the answer. But the other two options that we have are higher than that. So let's take C, 239 approximately. So if I take women as 239, what will be 61%? So 6 into 10% plus 1%. So 10% is 23.9, approximately 24. 6 into 24 will be 144 plus 1% is 2.3 approx. So 146.3. When you add to this, this is going much beyond 335 figure. So this is also not the right answer. This clearly is wrong, much higher. So thus can I say neither A nor B nor C? My answer should be none of these. And if you want the exact value, I think my answer should be slightly more than 204, because when I take this as 204, I am ending up at around 328. If I want 335, so how much more it is? It's around 2% more, around almost 2% more. So this value should also be almost 2% more. I'm getting 328, I should get 335. How much more is it? It's around 2% more. The gap is of around 6.5. 6.5 on 328 will be around 2%. This should also be 2% more. So thus my answer should be very close to somewhere around 208, which is none of these. I hope we are clear with the way we have worked out the problem. We went by the option choices. Alternately, what you could have also done is, you could have done the calculation like this. So x increased by 61% means what? 1.61x. And now you solve for x. Depending on your comfort level with calculations and all, that may be taken up or not. With reference to the information in question 109 above this question. So what is the information that we have? Here we got to know male are 335 and female will be around 208. Which region of the below mentioned states offers the least wages to the women workers in any sector? Least wages, okay. So here we got women to be 208. What about Gujarat and Goa? I think those numbers are given to us. Gujarat and Jharkhand we are given 239 and 247. This is clearly higher than that of this Goa, clearly higher than this. So thus my answer cannot be Gujarat, it cannot be Jharkhand. Now what about Kerala? Kerala also I think it is given to be one of the highest here. Somewhere it was 500 something, 537 Kerala we talk about. So that also cannot be the answer clearly. So hence can I say the only remaining option Goa is going to be our correct answer. So which of the below mentioned states offers the least wages? We'll say Goa. Next one, in 2023, if the average annual income of female self-employed workers, so self-employed females is 250 rupees. So how much do male self-employed workers earn on an average? So this is going to be how much? So we know again one relation I think for self-employed. Yeah, here it is. This was the relation. So male self-employed will be 2.8 times the women self-employed, and hence can I say my answer directly will be 2.8 times of 250. So when you do this, it's 28 into 25, and when we do this, it's going to be 700 rupees. So option choice C hence is going to be our correct answer. I hope we are following this. So if you notice, while solving the questions, there is no need of us to go through what is the kilogram price of rice. There was some relation given about that. There was something about female self-employed, male self-employed people. There was something about casual laborers. There was something about agricultural laborers. All of that details were not really required when you come down to the question solving. If a female casual worker earned 200 rupees per hour, so female casual worker, so female earned 200 rupees per hour. What is the hourly age of a male casual worker? Given that male casual workers earn 48% more. So when he says 48% more, 48% of 200 happens to be 96. So 96 rupees more would make male's wage rate, right? Or what is he calling it? What is the hourly age? Hourly wage, yeah. So male's wage rate to be at 296 rupees. So option choice B is going to be our correct answer. So if you look at it, the amount of calculation, the level of calculation is not very high, very simple calculation, just that the data given is very scary. So thus the key here was to skip the irrelevant parts and move on to the questions. 113. Assume that in 2022, the earnings gap between male and female self-employed workers was 2.5 times. So in 2022, the female gap, male and female self-employed, the gap was 2.5 times, say 2.5x. In 2023, the gap increased to 2.8 times. What is the percentage increase in the earnings gap for self-employed worker from 2022 to 2023? So, it's asking us what's the percentage increase from here to here. So, as you can see, the increase is of 0.3x as compared to 2.5x, and we want our answer in percentage, so we multiply by 100. X will cancel out, decimal can be cancelled out, so it's 3 by 25. 25 will go 4 times. 3 into 4 will give us the answer as 12%. So, option choice A is going to be our correct answer. 114, next one, which of the following statements is correct? The wage gap of Goa and Kerala is less than that of Tamil Nadu. Is it true? I think yes, it was true. Somewhere it was said Tamil Nadu has the highest wage gap, followed by Goa and Kerala. So, that's correct. So, this is correct. But there is an option like both A and B, so we have to verify the second one also. The wage gap of Tamil Nadu is greater than that of Jharkhand and Gujarat. I think that is also correct because Jharkhand and Gujarat were right at the bottom. They were the least. So, clearly this will be more than these values also. So, thus can I say both the option choices A and B are correct. So, which of the following is correct? We will say both of them are correct. So, if you look at the set, it was hard to read, but if someone was able to identify the key that there is not really a requirement of going through all the details, but just quickly scanning through relevant details and going for the questions directly, he or she would have found this set to be not so difficult. But at the end of the day, I would like to tell you this was definitely a lengthy set owing to the fact that the data was very long, very detailed. Questions are not.